Alright, so Silent Hill F just released, well actually released yesterday, and today we're going to be having a look at its performance with the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. It's the PlayStation 5 Slim, not the Pro, so just the same performance as the base PlayStation. And I played a few hours just to get some performance numbers here. I'm not that super far into the game, but I just thought I'd share some performance numbers with you. Alright, so I'm not going to make this too long. The PC versions review benchmarks will be done next week. I just had very little time to actually get to everything, but for the time being, here are the Xbox Series X and PS5 benchmarks. Alright, so for this video, I actually put them side by side just for easy comparisons. It is not that easy to get them to line up perfectly side by side, but we're going to be starting with the starting area, PS5 on the left, Xbox Series X on the right, and immediately you can see there's a stutter there. Okay, it is a traversal stutter. Oliver from DF also spoke about it, but one thing about these traversal stutters is that they are more frequent on the PlayStation, but they are more severe on Xbox. I don't know how that works. I restarted the console a few times, restarted the games a few times, and it is exactly the same result all the time. Now, I'm leaving in how the video starts, just for transparency. This is TR drop, and it takes a little while for everything to basically just to normalize and to start counting the frames. But now you can see that the PlayStation in the beginning area actually has some frame pacing issues where we do see some spikes to 50 milliseconds and then some frame times of 16.7 milliseconds. The same starts happening on the Xbox Series X, and I will talk about that at the end of the video just to show you how I verify that these results are correct. Now, these frame time issues in quality mode, they're not that easy to spot while playing, but you do notice something is off, right? All right, so then I did play a little bit further, about an hour into the game or so, and just to get to a little bit of a more demanding area, if you can put it like that. And over here, both consoles can run at a perfect 60 frames per second, even when there's quite a lot happening on the screen. Even when you are fighting, just going through the tutorial here, just pardon that. I mean, it's not a tutorial, it's just some hints that are still this late into the game. But yeah, you can see 60 frames per second on both. No real issue here. But I chose this specific spot here because I did notice quite a few traversal stutters. Now, they're not shader compilation stutters like you see on PC, but they are traversal stutters that are kind of inherent to Unreal Engine 5, right? But I'll show you now that the first part of the map, maybe not that demanding when it comes to traversal, but you'll see as soon as we kind of enter a newish area, like the Xbox Series X there had a single increase to 50 milliseconds, but the PlayStation 5 had 2 frames increase to 50 milliseconds there, right? And again, so that's why I said that the PlayStation has them more often, but less severe. And you'll see what I talk about now. Just look at the Xbox now. Like that's a very, very big freeze. Counted to 100 milliseconds. Like that's a pretty big stutter there. Whereas the PlayStation saw an increase to 50 milliseconds. And it's kind of more or less what I've been experiencing the whole time up until this 1.5 hour play window or wherever I'm now. It took me about an hour and a half to get there. But this has basically been my experience with the Xbox Series X, that it does stutter quite a lot more than the PlayStation 5. Now, don't worry about the frame times here at the beginning. It's just a TR drop, normalizing, and I included that just to be transparent. TR drop takes a little while for everything to normalize, and then it counts pixel differences to determine when a new frame is being presented or not. Anyway, so just doing the exact same run as previously, just with quality mode as well. And again, 30 frames per second, it looks a lot better than at the start, right? We've got a very smooth 60 frames per second, and it seems to go well until we start seeing some hitching when it comes to traversal. Again, it's very difficult to line these shots up perfectly because you can line them up in edit, but then the edited footage is no longer raw footage, which means TR drop can no longer be accurate in its counting. For teardrop to work, you need to feed it raw footage. And the side-by-side comparisons here are done by teardrop. All right, so it's a bit of a mission to try and get two recordings with the overlays completely synced, and I'll do a video on that just to show you what I mean. All right, so now we can actually start seeing that some frame time issues are starting to occur here on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. And over here, the PlayStation, the Series X is actually struggling a little bit more. And again, at this exact same time spot, we are seeing a frame time jump to 150 milliseconds, where we do not see that on the PlayStation. Now, again, it's just very weird. You can see that the PlayStation takes longer to recover here from whatever was causing the inconsistent frame times. But now both have recovered, and we are back to 33 millisecond frame times mostly. All right, let me just explain exactly my testing methodology here. And for that, I'm going to open up Adobe. All right, so how I actually verify whether my frame rate counting is as accurate as I can get it. Right, we'll have a look at the quality mode footage here in Adobe Premiere Pro. That's what I use for editing. And if we zoom in all the way, right, so every single movement of this stick here would be basically a second, right? So if we have 30 frames per second, this stick needs to move twice for every new frame. And you can see that's exactly what's happening. You can check on both sides, the left and the right. The moment I move it twice, there's a new frame. All right, so we can actually do it a little bit more granularly if we just do one frame to the right. So I click, there's no new frame, and I click, there's a new frame. No new frame, new frame. No new frame, new frame. All right, okay. So that's basically how we can see that it's 30 frames per second, because my video is being exported in 60 frames per second. So it's 30 frames per second in a 60 frames per second container. Therefore, every second frame would be a new frame. All right, so if we then go back to the problematic area, which is at 446, I believe. All right, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to zoom in properly here. I just want to see that it is working. All right, so you can see here that the frame times are very erratic there. And the same would apply here. We've got 30 frames per second inside a 60 frames per second container. So every second click would need to be a new frame. So let's start off counting a little bit here. So click, no new frame, new frame, no new frame, new frame, no new frame, new frame, no new frame, no new frame, new frame, no new frame, no new frame, new frame, new frame. All right, so I'm counting on the right side. So let's just go back quickly. Just check on the right side here, on the Xbox side. Right, so that's the one currently having a lot more frame time issues here. If we, once again, every second one needs to be a new frame. All right, new frame, no new frame, no new frame. And then if there's two missed frames, what's going to happen is the next one is going to be a new frame, and then the next one is going to be a new frame as well. All right, and that's why we get a reading of 31 frames per second. It's not really 31 frames per second, right? It just means that we had two consecutive frames being updated, two consecutive updated frames where we had two missed frames as well. All right, and that's basically how I verify. It's painstaking, but it's basically all I can do really with the tools that I do have in hand. And we can basically repeat that process here with the PlayStation 5 side on the left again. You can see that the frame time graph is a little bit all over the place there as well. So once again, every second frame or every second click needs to be a new updated frame. So click, new frame, right? That's not supposed to happen. New frame, no new frame, and now it's going to be new frame. All right, so that's exactly what's happening. All right, so then if you have a look at the frame time graph here, you'll see that it goes from 0, 50, 100, 150. All right, so the frame times spike to 50 milliseconds here. I'm not 100% sure whether that measurement is 100% accurate, but what's happening here is that we are sitting with 30 frames per second, right? Which means 33 milliseconds per frame. Now, if the frame pacing is perfect, you'll have a a new frame every 33 milliseconds. Now what's happening here is we have a dropped frame in between, but it's not basically two dropped frames where we would have a 33 milliseconds spike, right? We only see a 16.7 millisecond spike. That's why it's going from 33 to 50. All right, and that's basically how I verify, and just to make sure that the frame rate counting is working correctly. All right, on that note, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and as always, we hope to see you in the next one.